Hello, and welcome back to Past and Future. This week, the Battle of North Cape, the last great sea battle between Britain and Germany. Here's some backstory. The year is 1943, and across the main battlefields like Russia, Italy, and the Pacific, the Second World War rages. Hitler's Operation Barbarossa has come to a halt, and now the Red Army seeks to push the Nazi menace out of Russia once and for all. But the only way they can do this is if they keep receiving supplies from the other allies, which have to travel a long and dangerous route from Britain around German-occupied Norway to Russian ports, called the Arctic Convoys. Intent on stopping these convoys, the Germans send the Scharnhorst, one of their biggest and best battleships, and of only a few that remain, to destroy these convoys, and thus block the vital aid coming to Russia. It is armed with 9 11-inch guns and has a 13.8-inch armour belt, which is more than enough firepower to blast any convoy ships and their escorts apart, and it is commanded by Rear Admiral Erich Bay. It was on the 26th of December 1943, in the early hours of the morning, that the Scharnhorst set sail from its base at Outer to intercept the convoy JW-55B, which was spotted by a U-boat earlier that day. The Scharnhorst was also accompanied by 5 Narvik-class destroyers, which were armed with 4 5.9-inch guns. As a thick layer of fog settles across the Arctic Ocean, and visibility is reduced to almost nothing, Admiral Bay sends his 5 destroyers to scout for the enemy. That is the last time the Scharnhorst will see those destroyers. Suddenly, shells started raining down around the Scharnhorst, and Royal Navy ships started emerging from the mist. Admiral Bay, thinking this was a large British squadron, turned his ship around and fled. In truth, this was just the 3 escort cruisers that were assigned to the convoy. These were the HMS Belfast, the HMS Norfolk, and the HMS Sheffield. The HMS Belfast was a new cruiser. It was armed with 12 6-inch guns and had a 4-inch armour belt. The other 2 were older cruisers. These only had 8 8-inch guns, but had a thicker armour belt at 4.5 inches. Admiral Bay then turned his ship northeast to try intercept the convoy again, though predicting he would do this, Force 1, aka the cruiser squadron, also did this move, and so, at around 12 a.m, the British ships met the Scharnhorst again. Although the Scharnhorst scored hits on HMS Norfolk, the British ships stopped the Scharnhorst breaking through to the convoy after it took minor damage. Unfortunately, HMS Norfolk and Sheffield experienced engine troubles, which left HMS Belfast as the only pursuing ship. Fortunately for the British, a squadron had been scrambled by the Admiralty, consisting of HMS Duke of York, a battleship armed with 10 14-inch guns and possessing a 14.7-inch armour belt, and the light cruiser HMS Jamaica, which was armed with 12 6-inch guns and possessed 3.5 inches of armour. This force, which we shall call Main Force, was commanded by Admiral Bruce Fraser. It was around 5 p.m. when star shells from HMS Belfast lit up the Scharnhorst and the icy waters around it. Soon after, salvos from HMS Duke of York knocked out 2 of the Scharnhorst turrets. The Scharnhorst, however, using its superior speed, managed to slip away from the British ships, though not without receiving major damage. HMS Norfolk had recovered from its engine troubles, and now British destroyers were dispatched to deal a last blow to the Scharnhorst using torpedoes. This further crippled the ship, but did not sink it. So, the 4 British warships began to close in on the Scharnhorst, whose speed was reduced to just 12 miles per hour or 10 knots. Shells began to penetrate the Scharnhorst, creating big holes, and so, at 7:45 p.m, the Scharnhorst capsized, marking the end of the Battle of North Cape. The Scharnhorst capsized rapidly, leaving little time for the crew to grab lifeboats. Out of a crew of 1,968, only 36 survivors were plucked from the freezing sea, meaning 1,000 932 souls were lost. Radar played a pivotal part in this battle. The British ships were equipped with radar, while the Scharnhorst wasn't, which allowed the British ships to spot the Scharnhorst from great distance. But just imagine what would have happened if the Scharnhorst was equipped with radar. Well, that's a question for another episode. Thank you as always for watching. I've had a bit of a cold lately, and so I apologise if that affects the audio quality at all. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and until next time, see ya.